And here, starting lineup. Well, there has been one significant change as we take a look at the Buffalo Wild Wings starting lineup. For the visitors from Lincoln, no Rachel Theriot, so you got 4 seniors, and then the one freshman, Natalie Romeo, who has been playing well in recent weeks. They will take on an Indiana Hoosier team that has nothing but freshmen and sophomores starting. Tyra Buss has started every single game, and this is her first year as a college player. And we're ready to go. There's Terry Morin, first year, replacing Kurt Miller. Spent the last 4 seasons at Indiana State. 14-12 is the record for Indiana. 4-11 through 15 Big Ten games.
Both teams looking to get out to a quick start this afternoon. And Indiana, being at home, they have the advantage because of that.
Nebraska starts on offense, and a bad pass is going to give the basketball to the Indiana Hoosiers.
One of the key matchups tonight. Emily Cady inside for Nebraska. She has 31 double-doubles on the season, and Amanda Cahill on the other side for the Hoosiers. She has a team-high 6 double-doubles on the season. Let's watch that matchup as the game unfolds.
Here's Brooks up high, working on Laudermill. Dumped down inside to the much-improved Jen Anderson. Ran into a wall. Emily Cady knows how to play that post defense. And Nebraska on the run out. Shot missed in transition by Romeo. One and done. Hoosiers have it back. Here's Buss.
The Hoosiers want to get up and down the floor, averaging 73 points a game.
Heck of a block there by Gassian. And it's Indiana ball back again.
Indiana gets it done on the defensive end. I spoke with Connie Ori for Nebraska prior to the game, and she said that their offensive efficiency needs to pick up. They haven't had Rachel Theriot in the lineup for the past 5 games. She just had her ankle surgery on Thursday, but she was taking one-footed jump shots on Wednesday. She is tough as nails, and all the best to her for a quick heal.
Jump shot up and good. First 2 points of the game go to Alexis Gassian, the sophomore from Fairborn, Ohio. Indiana, with a win today, would match their win total from a year ago. 2 turnovers already for the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
It was great help defense that time by Indiana. In the right place at the right time on the catch.
Here's Buss inside. Gets the friendly roll. First 2 points for Tyra Buss.
And Tyra Buss, she's had 18 double-figure games. The freshman has just no fear when she's on the court.
I mentioned that Indiana win today would tie their win total from a year ago. I was talking about their conference record from a year ago when they finished 5-11. Reverse is good for Laudermill, and Nebraska breaks the seal.
Well, no weak side help that time defensively by Indiana. Late on that rotation, you have to move on the pass. When you see the penetration coming, you have to be in motion to contest the shot.
Jump shot a little bit short, missed by Gassian, one and done. One of the best rebounders in the country, Emily Cady, cleans the glass.
Emily Cady, she had a career-high 19 boards against Iowa earlier this season because she remains active. She never turns off that motor in her pursuit of the ball.
Romeo inside, had a step, missed the layup, and it will be Indiana basketball.
Well, just watch defensively. That back line came over on the flight of the pass. So then now you can be a disruptor defensively and not allow that post player to catch it. Nebraska sticking with a man-to-man defense here, trying to turn their defense into offense. Connie Ori is looking for efficiency on the offensive end. Missing so much from Rachel Theriot in terms of her production.
Now Rachel Theriot is averaging 16.5 points and 5 assists. Look at how quick Laudermill is. Coast to coast, one of the fastest guards in America.
And that's why they're in their man-to-man defense, trying to create defense to offense with steals on live ball turnovers.
So Indiana scores the game's first 4 points. It's answered by 4 in a row from Nebraska. Cahill has it lip out. Jeffrey pestered by Gassian.
Trying to get some movement here. You see Nebraska's a little stagnant offensively. Look at the off-ball players. They're standing in one spot. You got to be a mover. If you don't have the ball in your hand, then you need to be in pursuit, or you need to be setting a screen so someone else can be in pursuit of the ball.
Gassian had a quick trigger so far in today's game. Offensive rebound by Anderson. Fresh shot clock for the Hoosiers. And Brooks, offensive foul. No basket wait. Terry Morin talking about contagious enthusiasm.
Oh, gave me chills. With all those young players in there, you have to channel all of that good energy.
Well, after the timeout, a substitution for Nebraska. Allie Havers checks in. Emily Cady, her first shot missed, but gets her own rebound and puts it up and in. She's been doing that for 4 years.
Well, she has been tremendously consistent on the boards as you have some hopscotch going on over the table. Boy, I think everybody's okay. Emily Cady right here misses on the first shot, too far underneath the rim, but follows it up with a great finish. She's averaging 10 rebounds a game to lead the team, so you have to be persistent as a rebounder and get your body in good position to finish shots.
Carla McBride's checked in. She's got the ball up high, gives it back to Brooks. McBride has been instant offense off the bench.
She has been terrific, leading bench scorers with 8.5 points a game.
Havers digs it out, takes it away from Cahill. Nebraska on a 6-0 run. Laudermill makes it an 8-0 run for the Huskers.
Well, that'll get a lot done for you if you can play efficiently on the defensive end. And now you don't have to worry about playing in the quarter court. They're not getting good off-ball movement, but it doesn't matter if you get steals and you can score easily like that.
Cahill, good catch in traffic, has it knocked away, and then blocked away by Cady. It will stay with Indiana with 6 on the shot clock.
You've got to have active hands as a defender and no body contact, and you also have to hustle on the floor for 50-50 balls on the other end, and makes it easy for Laudermill to stop and stick it.
Buss takes a look at the shot clock, takes it inside, split the double team and score.
Well, there she is again. She just finds a way to get to the rim inside. Buss with another strong finish inside.
Buss was a prolific high school scorer. 2-time the Illinois Miss Basketball. And look at the ball handling from Buss.
I love that.
Buss from deep. That's something that will come in the next couple of years. Just a 27% three-point shooter. She's too good of a shooter and a scorer not to improve that number.
Absolutely. She's got confidence as well. Look at the freshman finding a way. The eye fake to the right got her that avenue, and the ball handling right here, impressive behind the back. Trying to make some things happen for the Hoosiers.
Now Nebraska going to go to the bench again. Chandler Smith checks in. She wears number 30.
Well, look at Nebraska trying to get some screening action on the ball, and that'll help their movement.
Havers. Bounced around a couple of times. Cahill cleans the backboard.
Nebraska looking to switch on screens in their man-to-man defense. That'll create some mismatches. We'll see if Indiana can take advantage of that.
Brooks throws up a contested shot, had no chance. Sample ahead of the pack. They get it to her, and with a left hand.
Well, you've got to sprint, and you've got to reward the post players who sprint the floor all the way from block to block. Great pass.
Brooks. Rebounded by Gassian, who is grabbed. No, they call it a jump ball. So no foul. Instead, it's possession arrow favoring Indiana.
Nebraska, they need to manufacture easy offense, and that comes in transition. Get it up the court and finish in your secondary break.
Substitution for Indiana. Buss checks out for the first time. Jess Walter, freshman from Midland, Michigan, replaces her. Walter wears number 2. Brooks gets a screen. McBride always looking for that shot. Here's Walter. Nowhere to go. Got her own miss. Shot clock does not reset. It's down to 6 right now.
Great defense by Nebraska. They only allow 59 points a game.
Brooks hits the three-pointer.
With 3 seconds on the shot clock. That was a tough shot by the sophomore.
Good post defense played by Cahill to knock it out of bounds.
Well, Brooks, in her last 6 games, she's been 48% from range, and right there, string music. All nets.
Brandy Jeffrey back in for Nebraska. For Indiana, Jen Anderson re-enters the game as well. A little 6-footer showing off a nice touch. Brandy Jeffrey, her first 2.
Brandy Jeffrey, she is so dynamic in what she brings to the table for Nebraska.
And a foul. Walter is whacked on the arm. She'll go to the free throw line.
Well, Jeffrey, she's one of the seniors, and you've got to move the ball and move your body off the ball. Jeffrey, nice connection there.
So 2 free throws now for Jess Walter. We always talk about what a veteran team this is with Nebraska. You've got seniors and Sample and Cady and Laudermill and Jeffrey. Connie has had the luxury of having consistent point guard play for so many years now. Last 3 years, Rachel Terrio. Before that, Lindsey Moore, who was an elite point guard. And now, all of a sudden, the person who controls the ball the most often is not there anymore. Changes things radically.
Right. Rachel Terrio played 38 minutes a game, so her presence was felt on both sides of the ball for Nebraska. But I spoke with Connie and her staff prior to the game, and she said it's got to be a collective effort in terms of their leadership in the absence of Rachel Terrio.
Sample, an offensive rebound. Fresh shot clock for Nebraska.
It's difficult when a lot of the seniors are post players. So the leadership comes from post. They have to be verbal.
We have got a foul called on Indiana. Timeout on the floor. 11:39 remaining in our first half. The points go down 15 per ball game. The shooting percentage goes down almost 10 percentage points as a team. That's a radical change.
A definite impact player. Rachel Terrio is greatly missed in the lineup because of all the things that she brought to the table. And Connie Yori says that the successful surgery happened on Thursday, and she's 4 to 6 months in rehab, and hopefully she'll be back and ready to go. Probably before that, knowing her and her energy level. But definitely missing her presence on the court and her leadership as a junior on the team this season.
She's been replaced in the starting lineup by Natalie Romeo, who's a heck of a player, but she's a totally different player than Rachel Terrio. Cady throws it out of bounds. Terrio was a playmaker who could handle the ball, distribute, create her own shot. And Romeo is a jump shooter. She is an elite three-point shooter. But at this point, she is not nearly the playmaker that Terrio is.
Now, Romeo, she's averaged 11 points in the last 5 games for Nebraska in her absence. But you don't have to replicate what she does. And I think what Connie Yori was saying, it has to be a collective effort by everyone. You can't just replace a player like Rachel Terrio and bring everything that she brought to the team. So everyone has to step it up.
That foul called on Brandy Jeffrey, her first. Tyra Buss back on the floor, replacing Laren Brooks. Tough chance. That pass had very little likelihood of getting through. And a travel in transition called on Romeo. 5 turnovers so far in the first 9 minutes for Nebraska.
Well, that's when you're missing a Rachel Terrio, the veteran decision-making with the basketball, and Romeo just a freshman. And not that you can't make errors, it's just not as many and not the same ones as you would get from a player with more experience. And that's critical.
Good catch by Cahill to get inside and miss the layup. She'd love to have that back.
Those are the ones that when you lay down at night on your pillow, you think about, I just need to square my body a little bit more and have more control and balance.
Laudermill turns the corner. Free throw jumper is pure.
Well, that's just a tough shot coming off that curl screen. The defense fought over top to stick with her. She shot that over a contested high hand.
8 points so far for the senior Laudermill. She gets hot. She put points up in bunches.
She had had 20 points against Northwestern on Wednesday, and 16 of those came in the second half, so she can be a microwave offensively.
And a reach-in foul on Laudermill, her first personal. And McBride will shoot 2 free throws.
And just watch how Laudermill can create her space. Coming off of that screen, she had just enough time to get that off. That bump screen gave her that inch that she needed to release that shot.
So 2 free throws for Carly McBride. She is not elite at the free throw line. A little bit surprising considering how pure her stroke is. She shoots 69% from the line. Alexis Gassian back on the floor. She replaces Jen Anderson. For Nebraska on the floor for the first time, Jasmine Sincourt, number 34 in red. Laren Brooks replaces McBride, who splits the 2 free throws. This is the first of 3 women's games we'll have for you today on BTN. They should be all fun to watch. We get a chance to see later on today Michigan and Minnesota. Have you seen Amanda Zawi-B and what she's been doing?
I think everyone has seen Amanda Zawi-B. 39 points, 29 rebounds in her last game. Wowie Zowie factor.
And then we'll finish it off with Iowa and Ohio State. Ohio State has a freshman in Kelsey Mitchell who is leading the country in scoring. 25 points per ball game, and Iowa on a real hot stretch doing fun things as well.
Iowa has been feisty all season long. They can shoot the 3 in an amazing way, just so effective, and it makes it so tough in terms of matchups because of that. So definitely a tough team that'll be pushing into postseason play.
That last foul is on Laren Brooks, and that's her second personal foul. She's going to stay on the floor, but she's got to be careful. And an offensive foul and an illegal screen set on Allie Havers.
When you're setting a screen, you cannot move out of your cylinder, and what I mean by that, you can't lean one way or the other, forward, backwards, right or left, or you get called for that foul. You can't clip a body. It's up to the player who you are screening to set you up.
Buss got free inside and scores. Good pass to get it into her by Jess Walter.
It was a super cut off the flex screen by Buss on the baseline.
Havers, that's her first field goal. 6'5" sophomore's got a nice touch.
And great footwork. Shooting starts with your feet. You've got to be on balance first.
Skip past Walter. And a foul's going to go against Nebraska. It's on Jasmine Sincourt.
And there's that cut by Buss coming baseline on that flex cut. If you're not off and to the ball as a defender, you will get burned on that cut. If you're already at basket level, you can go ahead and deny that pass.
Sincourt picked up the foul. She goes to the bench. And a quick shot missed by Romeo. Offensive rebound, Cahill. Walter from straight up high. Nebraska's lead is 3. Cady. Spinorama. Score the goal. And she's fouled. Chance for the 3-point play.
I love the footwork inside by Emily Cady. As a post player, this is what you need. Reverse pivot. Now you take it baseline, bring it back to the middle for the nice hook shot on the inside. She's teaching you dance lessons here, folks. That's just pretty stuff inside. That's nice.
Cady misses the free throw. She has got over 1,000 points and rebounds in her 4 years in Lincoln. Cahill, good pump fake, equals a layup. Indiana back within 3. First 2 points for Cahill.
Nice freeze of the defender to get that shot off.
Cady sandwich. Somehow finds Romeo. Jeffrey took some contact and still hit the jumper.
Jeffrey was leaning back on that shot, and I think that saved her shot in terms of the balance.
Brooks gets a screen. Quick trigger. She's off to a nice offensive start. Give her 3 more. Half dozen points in the first half for Laren Brooks. 7 minutes to play in our first half. Romeo set up for a clean look, and she buries it. That's how she earned her scholarship. She can stroke it from deep.
Nail a 3, be that specialist. But Laudermill right here, stopping and popping and finishing.
And record 19th double-double on the year. Oh, by the way, defensively, 4 blocked shots for her as well. And if you didn't get a chance to see much of that, you can watch all of her play against Michigan later tonight right here on BTN. After the timeout, jumper made by Jess Walter. 3-pointer for Walter. And it's a 2-point game. Nebraska up a pair.
And just going back to Zowie B, I mean, she was a machine in that game and just so impressive.
Jeffrey misses in the paint. 1 and done. Rebounded in traffic by Cahill. Yeah, beginning of the year, the preseason conference player of the year, Rachel Banham. She has a knee injury in December, and now it's quite possible that Minnesota still is going to have the player of the year, but it's not going to be Rachel Banham. It's going to be Amanda Zowie B.
Absolutely. I mean, she has just been a solid rock.
There's been some significant injuries that have affected teams in the conference this year.
Unfortunately, that's the worst part of the game, and so many great players out. I already spoke about Rachel Terrio's ankle injury.
Cady scores on a tough shot in the paint. That's one of the things that's remarkable about Emily Cady. I've been watching her play for 4 years, and she's been bumped and bruised, but she's never missed significant time. She's never missed a game. Has started since her freshman year, and she has been as consistent as can be through 4 years for Nebraska.
She just blocked that shot without leaving her feet. Just great timing. And in the right place at the right time. And she got 1,000 rebounds earlier this season. And that's something that a lot of people don't do. I mean, that's work. She's put in a lot of hard work.
And she's played with a great rebounder her entire career. Jordan Hooper could rebound the basketball. Her teammate Haley Sample, a good rebounder as well. And a foul called on Laudermill. That's the second personal foul on Tara Laudermill.
Looked like she just got there a little late, and you see her left foot is inside of the restricted area. That's why she was called for that block.
Second personal foul on Laudermill. She'll stay in the game. Jess Walter, 2 free throws, makes 1. She'll have another. Now Connie Orr makes the decision to take Laudermill out. She's replaced by Natalie Romeo. Walter swishes both free throws to make it a 2-point game.
Another freshman for Indiana. We're in that 3-2 zone.
And a foul from behind called on Cahill.
Well, the defense inside of their 3-2 zone, you've got to stay on top of that backline player. The backline player was hedging out to the shooter, so she was late getting inside, so the baseline player came over, and you can't come down on the arm. Just stay up straight. Rule of verticality there.
Sample hits the first, she'll have another. 4-year starter out of Flower Mound, Texas. Has never been the flashiest player in the Big Ten, but has been one of the most effective. Offensively, maybe not so much, but defensively, rock solid, and the ball never stops when it's in her hand offensively.
Absolutely. She has a tremendous basketball IQ. She's a team player. And she comes in to work every day with her hard hat on.
Indiana has number 10, Taylor Agler, on the floor for the first time. Walter, good move to get open and cashes in. Jess Walter showing off some offense. She's got 8 first-half points. Curl pass inside. Cady score the goal. Chance again for a 3-point play.
And I love the emotion after that. And then she was saying, good pass. She wasn't excited that she scored. She was excited that they found her inside when she had great positioning. right here on that baseline, and that's the way you want to go. You don't want to come middle where all the defense is. Take it to the baseline and finish.
That was a great pass to lead her right to the basket. Lead is now 5 again for Nebraska. Lindsay Lycum into the game. It's got to be, wonder what's going on. She's from Tucson, Arizona. Woke up to 7 inches of snow this morning.
Well, that's definitely a little bit different there in Arizona.
Shot clock down to 3. Brooks able to squeeze it off. That's the second time she's beat the shot clock buzzer. Chandler Smith over to Jeffrey. Under 4 minutes to play in our first half. Smith gets it back and comes up empty.
I like the execution of that back screen play. They just have to finish that easy layup inside that bunny.
Cahill sandwiched. Somehow finds Agler, who finds Lycum. That's how you do it. The sophomore from Tucson splashes the 3, and we're tied at 30.
That's why you make the extra pass. It's the hockey assist.
Good defensive play by Walter. Read that pass beautifully. Brooks! That would have given Indiana the lead.
And some momentum.
Lycum loses it out of bounds, but it was touched by Cady. Indiana basketball.
Well, Laren Brooks right here. She knows the shot clock is running down, so what do? Attack the rim and finish.
We'll talk a lot about it for Nebraska. Rachel Theriot out for the rest of the season.
Well, Maryland being undefeated in Big Ten play is certainly impressive. They have an overall RPI of 5 right now, which is also impressive as well. But Rachel Theriot in her absence, I think that's going to make a big difference. We'll see what Nebraska can do without her on the court and see if they can gain the traction necessary for postseason play.
Jasmine Sinclair back on the floor. This is Sinclair, blocked away by Walter. Got it back along the baseline, and she travels. 8 turnovers for the Cornhuskers.
She ran out of space there on the baseline. Great defense by Indiana, who has turned up the intensity on that side of the court.
Nebraska with twice as many turnovers as Indiana. Brooks, Lycum, Anderson, Walter, and Agler, 5 on the floor for Indiana. Walter has been really aggressive offensively. Comes up empty, rebounded by Hayward. Good pass inside, and Sample is pushed from behind. She'll go back to the free throw line. Coming up on our halftime report, Mike Hall and Vera Jones will get you caught up on a busy day of women's basketball. Here we'll break down the first half of our action here from Bloomington. We'll get previews of Michigan, Minnesota, Iowa, and Ohio State.
I want to see Vera's awards. She's got Oscar awards. I want to see. Tomorrow's the Oscar day. It's a little preview in the Big Ten women's hoop world.
Sample puts Nebraska up by 2. Under 2 minutes to play in our first half.
Indiana has made the extra pass on the offensive end, and they've had good spacing as well in their last several possessions.
Lycum. Nebraska the ball in the lead. Three seniors and 2 freshmen on the floor for Nebraska. Cady, Sample, and Jeffrey, the seniors. Romeo and Sinclair, the freshmen. Shot clock down 8.
But at times they look out of sync offensively, looking for a go-to shooter.
Sinclair got a good look inside, just couldn't hit the layup, but the offensive rebound corralled by Romeo.
A great hustle to run that down and tippy-toe the sideline by the freshman.
Yeah, with no Terrio and with Laudermill on the bench right now, who's going to initiate the offense? Oh, who cares? It's going to be Haley Sample hitting the turnaround. 6 points for Sample.
And she averages 7 points on the season to go along with 7 rebounds. So they're going to need everyone's best effort, especially on the offensive end.
Lycum can't hit the baseline jumper. Shot clock's off. Jeffrey notices, and she'll just walk it across the timeline. Cornhuskers call timeout. Connie Yorey wants to think things over with 21 ticks remaining in our first half.
Get some flowers, double dip. It's fun.
After the timeout, Nebraska. Shot clock's off. 15 seconds to work.
For a high screen.
And it's stolen away by Agler. And her pass stolen right back by Romeo. And that will do it for our first half of play. The Nebraska Cornhuskers walking into that locker room feeling good about themselves. They've
offensive ball movement and people movement. Scored at the end of the shot clock 2 times. But that's what she can do. She brings that level of energy and focus on the offensive end.
Nebraska only had 2 points off the bench in the first 20 minutes, as opposed to Indiana, led by Jess Walker. They had 12 bench points. Nebraska shot 50% in the first half, which was 33% for Indiana. But Nebraska's lead's only 4. Shot clock down to 2. Laudermill jumped off the wrong foot, and it'll be Indiana ball.
Well, it was good defense that time by Indiana. They came out in a man-to-man, trying to be more aggressive defensively. And that shot went up with 2 seconds remaining on the shot clock, and it was forced. There was defense there.
Same 5 on the floor that began the game for Indiana. Cahill, Anderson, Gassian, Buss, and Brooks. Gassian, high arching jumper, brings Indiana within 2.
That was a pretty shot. And that's what Indiana needs. They need to stay consistent. And with young teams, that's difficult sometimes. It all comes down to focus.
Again, Nebraska taking their time offensively. The shot clock drips down to 10. Cady. Indiana chance to tie or take the lead. Cahill walled off. Brooks. Indiana on top by 1.
A great recognition inside by Cahill. She was double teamed. That means someone else is open. And it was Brooks from range.
11 points now for Brooks. Sample working on Anderson. Gets it right back. And a chance for a 3-point play.
Oh, that was a sample out of her book of moves. She took her right to the baseline. Watch Brooks right here, though, on the shot, on the kick out. You have to stay ready as a shooter, but inside. Take a sample of this right here. Baseline and a strong finish, and she knocks in the free throw to complete the N1.
Sample has not missed a shot so far today. She has got 11 points. A perfect 3 for 3 from the field. A perfect 5 for 5 at the free throw line.
Nebraska switching on their pick and rolls. And Sample had Brooks right there, and as a point guard, you need to attack that post player when there's a switch like that, big to small.
Gassian. Dangerous pass. It's going to be Nebraska ball. It was last touched by Brooks. 6 turnovers now for Terry Morin's Hoosiers.
And it's just those kinds of turnovers that you look at after the game is over. You can't do anything about them, obviously, but those are the possessions that you need to look to score on. And you miss those opportunities, and that's what's so frustrating about turning the ball over.
Cady fouled by Cahill. We've got some women's basketball royalty in the house. Look at this. That's Brian Agler. He is a couple of things. Head coach of the LA Sparks. He's also the proud papa of Taylor Agler, the sophomore guard for Indiana.
Oh, it's just great to see him here today, supporting his daughter and women's basketball. As always, he had been the head coach at Seattle for the Seattle Storm, but now he is currently the head coach for the Los Angeles Sparks in the WNBA. So looking forward to an exciting season this summer in the W.
Got a long history of coaching women's basketball. He coached a pro team in Columbus. Cady Smith played for back in the mid-90s.
Yes, in the ABL.
The ABL.
Absolutely. There you go. Analyst for the Big Ten Network.
I think it was the Columbus Quest, if I recall correctly.
High five that. That was it.
Indiana. They get it to Carly McBride. Normally, she's airtight with the jumper, a little bit off so far this afternoon. Nebraska's up by 4. Romeo controlling the point, looking for help. Here's Sample. Extra pass to Jeffrey. And Jeffrey, a little Euro step there to get open. And she scores points number 5 and 6.
A lot of players have mastered the sidestep of the defender. If that defender moves, that's going to be a foul on them.
Bust along the baseline. McBride still in search of that shot to fall. Nebraska up 6, and we'll have free throws coming for Haley Sample.
We'll watch the sidestep first. The baseline wasn't cut off by the defender, but she just sidesteps right here. Boom, boom. 2 steps. Kissing it off the glass. Nicely done.
That last foul on Alexis Gassian, her 3rd. And because of the 3 fouls, Gassian will have to leave, replaced by Amanda Cahill. Sample still has not missed. She's made everything from the field, and until that missed free throw, had made 6 consecutive free throws.
She's been a key cog this afternoon, no question about it, offensively for Nebraska.
Brooks up high. Cahill with a touch. Face-up jumper.
Cahill averages 11 points and 8 rebounds, so they really need more from her like that.
Another rebound, Cahill. Indiana threatening, down by 5. Cahill is fouled. Reach-in foul called on Nebraska. It's going to go against Emily Cady.
A nice recognition that time. The defense wasn't set. Cahill took it right into where the defense was, right here. The square up first. No drive, just stick it. And that's why you set yourself as an offensive player first. You don't automatically put the ball on the ground. It makes it easy to defend you. Square up. And then get that space and then go to work.
Amanda Cahill has a chance to be Indiana's version of Emily Cady. Just a potential double-double waiting to happen every game. Overshadowed a bit right now as a freshman, but when it's all said and done, if she stays healthy for 4 years, she could put up massive numbers.
Well, Indiana is the only team in the country this year to start underclassmen in every single game this season. So what they have been able to do this year in Coach Morin's first season on the bench has certainly been impressive considering their youth.
What a pass to get it into Cady. Quickly double teamed. Out high, shot made by Smith. Chandler Smith, her first bucket of the night.
Good spacing and ball movement that time by Nebraska. They're looking to get more like this off the steal. Easy offense.
Romeo missed the left-handed layup. It will stay with Nebraska, but it should have been 2.
Well, Jeffrey is just so tough. And this is why you have to cut the baseline off, kids. Because these things happen if you don't. It's beautiful, yeah.
It's beautiful unless you're trying to get to the airport. Right?
Well, there's that.
No place to go, though. This is where you want to be. Assembly Hall in Bloomington. Historic Assembly Hall, and we've got a good one. 6-point game. 20th ranked team in the country, Nebraska, on top of Indiana by a half dozen. Christy Winter-Scott. I'm Eric Collins. Let's see if Indiana's got a run in them.
They've had spurts of energy, but it started on the defensive end for them.
Cahill rips the triple. 3-point game.
And Cahill has come alive here in the second half, and she has made a huge difference in terms of their rhythm on the offensive side.
Cady, backdoor cut, and somehow Watermill able to get the pass in there beautifully.
Because the defense didn't turn their head fast enough on that back cut. It's a great catch and finish.
Cahill looking for 2 in a row. Romeo brings it across the timeline. Romeo Havers, Chandler Smith, Emily Cady, Tara Laudermill, the 5 on the floor for Nebraska. Cady off the window with the left hand. Degree of difficulty off the charts.
Fundamentally sound post moves inside by Cady all afternoon. Just watch her feet when she makes a move. It's beautiful.
With the left hand, Cahill answers. How about that? Cady and Cahill in a duel right now.
Well, just look at their records. Their conference records are impressive. They're in the top 3. And Rutgers, they have been scoring this season more than they ever have since 94 and 95 with C. Vivian Stringer, and 70 points a game for her squad. And, you know, she's always been known as the defensive juggernaut coach who just comes after you with 10 or 11 different defensive schemes. But now she's added a quicker pace on the offensive end, and it's really been a beautiful thing to watch this season. And for them both to be doing so well in new conferences, that says a lot to the Big Ten, because they haven't changed because of these new teams. They've come in and just brought their own personalities.
I think the fact that the head coaches, Brenda Fries, Maryland, and C. Vivian Stringer, Rutgers, both have significant Big Ten ties. I think that's helped them get across the message to their team. Hey, this is the scouting report, and this is why you need to pay attention. I've lived it before.
No question.
Alexis Gassian back on the floor, playing with 3 fouls, misses the jumper. Nebraska up by 7 with the basketball. Nebraska's lost their last 4 road games. Trying to hold on right now with 13 minutes to play. Havers to Romeo. Double team on Cady. 3 on the shot clock. Laudermill splashes the 3-pointer. The lead is now 10.
Well, they doubled up on Cady down inside on the block, and that's always the pass that'll be open, that weak side wing player.
Largest lead so far today for Nebraska. Good pass. Walter finds Gassian, who waited for the contact and eventually traveled.
Well, when you're off balance, you need to squat down so you don't travel and get your legs together. Right here, Cady double teamed. She dribbles out of it, and that nice overhead skip pass to Laudermill was perfectly placed.
If you watch Nebraska, there are about 10 times during the course of the game when you'll notice that they know where each other are for the most part. They're such a veteran bunch. Cady, Laudermill, Sample have played together forever, it seems like.
Well, there's a lot to be said for chemistry. And it's tough when you're a young team. You're learning on the fly. And a lot of freshmen and sophomores on the roster for Indiana. And they're going to be tough because they're tough right now. They're competing. There's no letdown.
Cahill is pestered by Cady. Nebraska up 10. Laudermill will wait for her mates. Cady, good strong forearms to rip the ball away from Cahill, and she's got 19 points.
We've got to have great hands inside, and Cady, she had a tough game in Wednesday's loss at Northwestern. She only had 4 points. She was 1 of 7 from the floor, so this is good to see her get out of that because she had been in single digits in 6 of her last 7 contests.
Agler misses the jumper, and Indiana's in trouble right now. They're down 12 and running out of time. 11 minutes to play. This time, Gassian able to knock the pass away. Last touched by Cady. Indiana basketball.
Well, this one was last touched by Cady, too. A nice skip pass to find the guard, returning the favor. Nebraska.
But how can you give the player of the year to someone other than someone on Maryland, considering Maryland has not lost a Big Ten Conference game?
Because Maryland is a collective effort when they play the way that they do with the balance that they have. As Indiana knocks down a shot, it's hard to pick just one player. But Zowie B has been so impressive in the absence of Rachel Banham, and she has, to me, stood out individually to be the most valuable player in the conference.
Okay, I like your rationale. Allie Havers off the window. Before that, it was a three-pointer by Jess Walter after the timeout call. Lead is 11 for Nebraska. Brooks misses off the window. Lycum had the rebound snatched away by Jeffrey. And a foul in the backcourt out of frustration by Brooks.
That was a tough reach in right there by Brooks in the open court.
Here's today's Motel 6 sixth player. Jess Walter averages 7 points. She's got 11 right now.
Well, she's fourth in the Big Ten, just under 9 points a game off the bench. So when your number is called, you have to be ready.
Sample had her shot snuffed out. And look at the running ability of Jess Walter. She just sniffed a bucket. Brooks found her. 13 points now.
On cue. How important has she been for the Hoosiers this afternoon?
9.5 to play. Nothing decided yet. Nebraska trying to play for a couple of minutes without Emily Cady, who's been the majority of their offense. Shot clock down to 6. Jeffrey. And again, pass ahead. This time it's Buss. And Buss misses the layup. And we've got a late whistle and a foul called on Nebraska.
Well, watch Brooks. Her recognition was impressive right here on the finish on the fast break. Look at the eyes on the ball. See it into your hands, catch it, and finish. On the move, she had to catch herself there.
Well, the foul was called on Allie Havers. It was going for the rebound. Havers picked up the foul, so no free throws. Emily Cady back on the floor for Nebraska. Changes on both sides. Cahill back on the floor for Indiana, replacing Gassian. Brooks, Lycum, Buss, Cahill, and Walter, the 5 on the floor for Indiana.
Like the Cady and Cahill are back in for the stretch run here in the second half.
Walter picked up by Cady. And now Cady leads the break. Looking like Rachel Terrio. Blocked away. This time Cahill wins the battle.
Oh, that's a great battle to watch. Those two have been going at it.
Cady knocks the pass away. Picked up by Romeo. 2-on-1. Connie Yori stomps her feet. Not the way she would have liked that break to have been run.
You want the extra pass, but not in that circumstance.
Cady hoping to draw contact, and we do have a whistle called against Walter.
That was a frenetic pace. It was down and back about 6 times without stopping. You see a lot of the girls have their hands on their hips right here. But watch, there it is. The defense wasn't set. And you got hit with the ball to add insult to injury there.
Well, you have to wonder about the conditioning right now with Nebraska. This is a fairly thin team. They're just trying to survive. Well, we have more women's basketball coming up right here on BTN. We've got Minnesota hosting Michigan, a chance to see Amanda Zowie B. Then we've got Ohio State, led by the nation's leading scorer, Kelsey Mitchell, taking on a ranked Iowa team. Coverage starts right after our game on BTN and BTN to go. A triple header of women's basketball just 11 days before the Big Ten tournament.
And Kelsey Mitchell is such a firecracker, and her sister is right behind her. Lisa Bluter's team has been playing tremendously well. What a great season they've had.
Lisa Bluter, a chance for her 300th win with the Iowa Hawkeyes with a win in today's game. Timeout on the floor. 7:54 remaining. Back to Bloomington in a moment.
Games are so impactful. As you head down the stretch, all of these games mean a lot. Indiana scores inside.
After the timeout, Alexis Gassian. That's the second consecutive time that Indiana's drawn up a successful play after the timeout.
Well, you can get 6 to 8 points off of your inbounds plays. That means you're executing very well.
Emily Cady, another good catch and finish. Cady, the game's leading scorer, has 22 points.
And it was too much of a gamble there by Cahill defensively. You have to be a 50-50 defender. You can't be all or nothing inside because you're giving up a layup.
Now, Nebraska has given up big leads on the road so far this season in conference play. They led by double digits against Minnesota and lost to the Gophers. Had a big lead against Iowa and lost in overtime against the Hawkeyes. Shot clock at 1. Adler able to get it off. It comes up empty. Good tap rebound. Like him. It's now Brooks who splashes the 3. Wow. All set up by the tap rebound by Lindsay Lycum.
Great hustle play by Indiana, but how frustrating is that for Nebraska defensively? You go through an entire shot clock playing solid defense and a tip for a three-pointer.
And somehow Sample got open, missed the layup, but got the offensive rebound. Points in the paint have been dominated by Nebraska. They have a 32-14 advantage on shots inside.
Well, this is why you have to be ready as an offensive player. Brooks had her feet set. When she caught that ball, there was no question in her mind in terms of what she was going to do with it.
Brandy Jeffrey back in defensively for Nebraska. She replaces Jasmine Sinclair. Jeffrey brought in to help on the rebounding aspect of the game. She is a terrific rebounding guard. Cahill, the spin, blocked away by Cady. 4 blocked shots now for Cady. That ties a career high. And before the shot, we've got a whistle and a foul on Indiana.
Just terrific defense by Cady. Great timing and got all ball. And you just see the body language there of Cahill. It's just so frustrating she can't get around her.
So we reach the bonus. It'll be a 1-and-1 for Brandy Jeffrey. The foul was called on Taylor Agler, her first. Missed opportunity. Rebound run down by Walter. Still time for Indiana, down 7. Under 6 to play.
There's a mismatch. They're switching on those screens, and Indiana has to do a better job of recognizing that and feeding the post player who has a guard. You got to post that guard up. Cahill missed an opportunity there to get an easy bucket.
10 turnovers now for Indiana. Let's see if Nebraska can control the basketball and use shot clock. Trying to milk this lead, playing without their elite point guard in Rachel Terrio, who had ankle surgery on Thursday. Jeffrey got inside and scored.
That was just so easily done by Jeffrey right down the middle of the lane.
Walter was on the sideline right in front of her head coach, and she stepped out of bounds.
And here comes Jeffrey turning the corner right there on Brooks and goes through the gates for the finish.
Really good job by our officials. Adler got her hand in there, but got all ball.
Right.
No reason to whistle anything. I think a lot of times we would see a whistle. Cady, that's her second consecutive missed layup.
She was just floating there. I don't think she had established her feet inside.
4.5 to play. Dangerous pass. Brooks. Cady picks up the loose ball. And now a double dribble called on Jeffrey. 12 turnovers on the Huskers.
Connie Yori showing her passion for her team and cheering them on the defensive end.
Tough catch by Brooks. Almost threw it away. There's been some sloppy passing over the last couple of minutes.
That's what you see with young teams. That's not a play from practice right there. That's, a scramble for the ball, but execution becomes paramount at this point in the game.
You wonder if fatigue has become a factor. And we have what? Foul called on Nebraska. It's called on Natalie Romeo. Cornhuskers trying to hang on. The 20th ranked team in the country, up by 9.
At the #1 spot all season. They did drop that game to UConn, but I tell you what, Dawn Staley has the country buzzing in terms of what she's been able to do with that program.
After the timeout, almost a layup at the rim by Gassian. Laren Brooks is down right now and in pain. There's an official timeout. This is for Laren Brooks, who was not able to make it down the floor.
I think she may have gotten poked in the
in the country. They still have a puncher's chance at going to the NCAA tournament as well.
Absolutely, and I think it's going to be a collective effort. They've been ranked all year. Did they learn from last year?
Last year, Nebraska 12-4 in 16 Big Ten games, went to the NCAA tournament. They won the Big Ten tournament. Rachel Terrio was the most outstanding player. Jeffrey inside, extra pass. Shot clock down to 5. Romeo. And it's Indiana ball. We saw Indiana's NCAA resume. What about Nebraska's?
Well, look at the key win over number 12 Duke, and their RPI is 33. And that's huge. I think that alone will help their cause in postseason play in the NCAA tournament.
Cahill. Indiana running out of time, down by 9. Here at winning time, the Cornhuskers have their starting 5 on the floor. 4 seniors, Sample, Laudermill, Jeffrey, and Cady, wrapped around the freshman, Natalie Romeo. Huskers in no hurry. Shot clock down to 7. Jeffrey has to fire the 3. And an offensive rebound, fresh shot clock.
It's a smart idea to use more of the clock. Romeo thought about the shot and brought it back out. It's smart for Cady not to put it right back up to inside. That's what I mean by that experience from your veterans.
Nebraska's going to burn a full minute off the clock here. Sample used the shoulder to create space, missed the layup. Moss, not going to miss that. Indiana within 7, 8 points for the freshman Buss.
Well, they're still fighting. And that's what Coach Morin loves to see. Who's going to compete?
Under 2 minutes to play. Cady, pass sails high. They left 12 seconds on that shot clock. That can't please Connie Yori.
And here's the freshman Buss taking advantage of the lane and driving in and finishing at the rim. Giving hope to her team, the young one.
Walter, she's had a big day offensively. And she'll go to the free throw line. That's just the 4th team foul on Nebraska. They played good team defense without fouls here in the second half.
Well, with Indiana, you have to recognize that and continue to attack the lane. And and try to create your own opportunities there.
14 points now for Walter off the bench. Tomorrow on BTN, it's a triple header of men's action. First, it's Iowa and Nebraska, then it's Indiana Rutgers, followed by the nightcap, Michigan State and Illinois. Illinois has been hot as of late, so the Spartans should be a good one. Tip-off starts at 2:30 Eastern on BTN, and BTN to go.
2-2-1 pressure that time by Indiana. Trying to create some things with their defense.
On the shot clock. And a timeout called by Nebraska with 6 remaining on the shot clock.
Your defense can turn other teams down in that regard.
6 seconds on the shot clock. Told that this is what it's going to be. So it's 1:07 with 5 on the shot clock. Laudermill gonna go to work. Gonna have to fire. Got it off in time, but it'll be a shot clock violation.
Oh, there was a trap there. And that created the turnover that they needed, even though it's not a live ball turnover. Nebraska doesn't get to score it.
So Indiana, with exactly 1 minute left to play, down by 6. Cahill, Gassian.
Taking a lot of time here. Valuable seconds ticking away.
Walter, the step through, hits with the left hand. It is a 4-point game, a 1-1. Not the double bonus, just a 1-1 situation at the free throw line should Indiana not get the steal and choose to foul.
Well, Sample is their lowest.
Oh, they got the steal. Cahill hit it. 2-point game. And Indiana, Iowa on the road, they eventually succumb in overtime. Try not to do it here in Bloomington.
Trapping again.
And a reach-in foul is going to send Romeo to the free throw line, where she's pretty good. Natalie Romeo is 14 for 16 in her college career at the free throw line. But these are some pressure free throws.
And that's when you know that that's a shooter. Because there's not a lot of free throws taken at this point in the season, only 16. That means she's a long-range shooter, but she has touch.
1-1. Big shot. Big shot for Romeo. See how quickly she ran down to the floor to the free throw line?
Well, she wanted to be there. Got that ice water in those veins ready to put it in.
2 beauties. Lead is back up to 4 for Nebraska. Nebraska still with 3 timeouts. Indiana with 1. Should we have a tie-up? The possession arrow favors Nebraska. Jen Anderson back in for Indiana. Bus leads the charge over to Cahill. Walter. Brooks. 3-pointer. Got it! Don't give up.
Down the stretch.
Cady will inbound. Romeo. She's pushed Romeo back to the free throw line.
She slipped that screen down there. He thought she was going to set the screen for the other guard to come and get it. She came back to the ball. So smart play there by Nebraska to get the ball in Romeo's hands.
Connie Yori trusting a freshman at the free throw line. Made 2 a moment ago. Wow. These are absolutely perfect free throws so far.
And this is all those hours in the summer spent in the gym taking free throw after free throw. That's what makes it easy for her.
Lead is 3. Indiana does not have a timeout. It's going to be decided right now. Indiana down 3. Brooks in trouble. Cahill. Someone's going to have to fire. Bus. And that's going to do it great team defense played by Nebraska.